So, yeah.
Okay.
Not always. I will agree that for most of the time it's more efficient, but I wouldn't say that, yeah. But I have had a little bit of experience in the Mint forms. They are better than the Ubuntu forms. However, I don't know if they're better than the PC Linux OS ones because I don't have experience in those. But they are better than the Ubuntu forms for sure. Yeah. I've noticed that they're nicer people. They care. It's a smaller project, and it's easier to care more about a smaller project. Easier to.
Yeah. Well, it's like, and the other thing is, every so often I see on a PC Linux forum, I see, like, you can tell this is somebody who is entirely virgin to Linux, and they get in and they basically say Linux sucks because it doesn't work like Windows. And rather than bite their head off, the forum actually takes a second to go, well, there's this little thing down here that looks like a key, and if you click that and you turn it to unlock this door, you have all this stuff that lets you do everything Windows lets you do, and then all of this. Like, they don't get condescending. They actually answer their question. And it's one of those things, I'm like, I've seen very few Linux distros that will actually bother to deal with those people and not go, you're a lost cause, fuck off.
You know what? Mint is definitely one of the distros that will not do that. I've seen a forum like that, and some guy out of the blue who wasn't a big person in the forum said, that you shouldn't be using Linux, then you should fuck off if you think that, and he got suspended from the forum for saying that. They're like, no, you, and they did respond. They asked why, what do you want to do? What are you noticing the difference? And I've seen a lot of forums like that on the Mint forums where they don't bite your head off. They really, they realize that people come from Windows and they realize that they can't do something and they get angry, and there's a lot of, and they're, they heard from a friend that they thought this, like, Linux is the best thing ever. They come to it and they can't do, TurboTax or something like that. And they realize that people are frustrated. So they're not always, they're sometimes, speaking out of anger, and so there's no reason to bite their head off. You can try to find out, what do you need, how can we help you, and that does happen in the Mint forums.
Yeah, of course there's that fine line there, which is getting into the dark side of Linux, which is there's this sect in Linux that thinks Linux needs to turn into Windows, and that's what's wrong with it.
Which is not what Mint believes. They believe that basically you should, if the proprietary version is better, that we would rather give you that, which is not necessarily what Ubuntu believes. So.
Well, yeah, and honestly, I forget. I have to go look this poem up at some point. I'm not going to do it now, but there's that little cute thing that keeps circling around the Linux community, which is, if something happens to work the same way it does here or there, it happens to be because it's the best way. And all likenesses are purely coincidental. It's like something like that. And that really is the case. It's like we happen to have a click down here for a menu because it just happens to make sense to people. Not because we're trying to copy anything. It's like... Okay. So I don't think there's really anything else to go under. You want to wrap up covering video editors like we did last time and then just kind of tail off? Or
Sure, we can do that.
Okay. Or do you want to just end here and start going into that stuff next week? We're right at about an hour now.
That would be even. I mean, I gotta head out to. I'm about, as soon as we're done with this, I'm gonna go head out to my girlfriend's house. So, just whenever.
Okay.
Yeah. Next week's perfectly fine for that.
Okay. So we'll go into that in a little more detail next week.
You got the sound.
Yes.
Everything. Yeah.
We have sound, though. Everyone has a... For those of you who don't know why James keeps asking me about the sound, 3 shows now. Once with him, once with Jordan here, and once with Mr. Bit. I have recorded a show with no sound because I forgot to turn it on. And as a result, we have a recording where everyone's going... We could dub it and make it a Japanese movie or something. I don't know. It gets annoying.
You could just overdub it and say really bad things.
Yeah. I don't know. So we'll go over video editors and stuff next week. I'm trying to think whether we just want to do Linux myths next week or go into. I personally think Linux is a good mid-grade OS for the direction the whole industry is going, because we're in that intermediary step right now where over the next 5 to 10 years we're going to begin to transition more and more into cloud stuff. And we're doing that less and less. We didn't even talk about that when we taped this time, which is probably why we're a little shorter than we were last time. Y'all want to try and put some thoughts together for that next week, or just say it's on?
For the idea of everything moving toward the cloud?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
Well, it does for me matter, but I don't think that the world is yet ready, not quite ready for everything to be in the cloud, and that is why I honestly think Chrome OS will absolutely fail.
I didn't mean it that way. Sorry, I meant it doesn't matter if we do it now or later.
Well, no. It's like I get that. I get what he's saying. Well, no, and that's part of why I want to cover it. Although, even though I think we're a lot more ready for the cloud than most people care to admit, and a lot of stuff is cloud right now. That's why cloud is the marketing word we've put on what we've been doing and perfecting for the last decade as we transitioned from Web 1.0 to 2.0, and we're really in the process of transitioning to 3.0 with doing more and more cloud services. And it's, your encyclopedia now is, as Jordan used several times in this video, is Wikipedia. It's not Encarta or any application. It's this website, and anybody who wants to have an about their stuff or manual, they make a wiki page. They don't make...
The thing I think is going to be a little bit different. What you're saying and a lot of people are saying is everything's going to go to the cloud. I really think the majority of it is going to go to the cloud in terms of mobile devices, not necessarily just on laptops and desktops and everything, but mostly on phones and tablets, things that you're going to be carrying around with you.
I can see that.
I see it being an in-between. I think the step we're going to go through that everybody's trying to figure out how to skip that you can't skip is the step where I'm on my desktop, like you do with OpenOffice now in Google Docs. It's like I'm using my application, but all the data is in a thing that's universally accessible. And it's that intermediary step we need to go to. Anyways, go ahead.
What do you guys think? I honestly think that if Chrome OS is what it says it has no ability to have internal storage and it's fully cloud, I believe that cloud-based operating system like Jolly Cloud could possibly do good, but a fully cloud operating system, I believe that would fail. What do you guys think? Do you think that could succeed? Do you think that
here's the thing. I think it can succeed, and if you need to have any doubt in that, look at iOS, which we'll talk about more next week.
I think it could succeed in select markets.
Yeah, it's like I see something like iOS succeeding great. It's like, however, and we'll talk about this more next week. However, I think James is absolutely right that Chromium will fail, because if the Nexus one has taught us anything, it's that Google does not have the necessary follow-through to truly follow through on seeing something too. If it doesn't take off instantly, they bail on it. So Chromium will fail. We can say that, and we're right.
You mean Chromium OS, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the browser, but the
browser's doing pretty well.
Yeah. The browser's doing great, but I think the OS will fail.
I was kind of predicting that rather than Chromium OS or Chrome OS going further, that they would really start to pour more into Android and possibly even sort of merge the two projects. That way, you've got the cloud-based idea, but you've also got a marketplace and an app store and all that fun stuff that you can sort of combine everything. And I don't know. I could see that happening, but who knows with Google.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a lot of cool ideas with Chrome OS, and this is one of them is because nothing is stored on your computer. If you have another person with Chrome OS, you could just switch it, and if you log into your account, you're instantly on your computer completely. There is no difference from you using, unless their computer's broken, but but since there's no internal storage, if you don't have internet, you don't have anything. You don't have
Unless they have a way to cache that.
Yeah, but say that would be some form of internal storage. Anyways, this is a whole broad topic to go into next week. We're going to end this show. Peace out, all.